Hello everyone, I'm Ruthie Owen and this is the third and final episode of Powering Up Generating Energy Security in Visayas and Mindanao, a three-part series in partnership with Aboitiz Power. Here with me is our panel of experts. First, we have Attorney Mona Lisa Di Malanta, Chairperson of the Energy Regulatory Commission. Hi, Chair Mona. Welcome back.
Hello, everyone.
Of course, we have Professor Wally Del Mundo, an Associate Dean of the College of Engineering at the University of the Philippines, Diliman. Hi, Prof. Wally. And finally, we welcome ASEC Romeo Montenegro, the Deputy Executive Director of the Mindanao Development Authority. Hello, ASEC.
Hello, Ms. Ruth.
So let's begin. In our last episode, we discussed what each region needs to bolster growth through power supply. Now we look ahead to see how we can innovate for the long run. Diba? So, Chair Mona, the Cebu economy has displayed consistent growth, but a reliable and sustainable energy supply is connected to this. What viable options do we have to achieve energy security for this area?
I think the DOE has drawn up very clear plans for Cebu, in particular for Visayas in general. There are plans there are even plans for setting up an LNG plant in Cebu. I think in general it will help not just Cebu but the whole region because LNG can help address the balancing requirement of the system. As I think we had discussed before, the challenge in Visayas is it's rich in renewable energy resources, but renewable, in order to be reliable, will require certain balancing requirements. It's quite demanding on the grid, having intermittent renewables. So I think LNG can help to a certain extent. The issue there would be the cost, because as we know, we do not have sufficient supply now of natural gas. So it's imported on top of coal that we already import. So I think we need to be strategic in that planning, because we need to also manage not just the supply at any price, but the supply at a price that can still fuel the progress in the area.
For ASEC Hyo, so Davao is also a vital growth area that needs power now. The region has thermal and renewable options to explore. So ano yung sources, best bets natin, no, to deliver the power that Davao needs now, or Mindanao?
Well, Davao is just a microcosm of the bigger Mindanao in terms of its trajectory of economic growth in the last recent years. But reference point natin si Davao in terms of that fast rate of growth that we are seeing in Mindanao. And definitely, in fact, we had in the past been able to establish an elasticity na for every 1% na pag-akyat ng ating GRDP, 1% din ang pag-akyat ng ating demand for electricity. Kasi nagtayuan ang mga buildings, nag-expand ang mga manufacturing and industries, nag-expand yung population, so nangangailangan ng mas maraming kuryente. And so, moving ahead towards a trajectory of 10, 15 years down the road, gusto namin this time around, we don't just look at energy security from the standpoint of capacity addition or magdagdag ng anumang technology, but we also are proactive and aggressive in integrating energy transition. So sa bawat megawatt na dinadagdag natin to address our energy security in Mindanao moving forward should be coming from renewable energy. And so that we are able to also veer away from reliance of imported fuel na yun nga, subject to market volatility and foreign exchange fluctuation. Plus, we wanted to create a mindset that in our development in Mindanao is triggered and facilitated by clean energy sources. That's why si MINDA, yung office namin, Mindanao Development Authority, na tumatayong chairperson together with DOE as co-chair ng Mindanao Power Development or Mindanao Power Monitoring Committee, of which kasali ang ERC, Transco, and all other energy family members. Pinupush namin yung 50-50 energy mix by 2030.
Ambitious sila.
Much ambitious than the national target of 35%.
Because Mindanao is already
bakit?
35.
Yeah.
Because 10 years ago, we were 70-30 in
Yes,
favor of renewable energy in Mindanao.
Hydro.
We have hydro. The first ever solar plant built in the Philippines was a 1 megawatt built in Cagayan de Oro.
Tama.
And then we have the geothermal, we have the cascading Agus complex, and then we have the Pulangi. And we definitely derive so much of our ability to transform Mindanao economically.
Wait lang.
Yes.
I want to ask you about yung mga nasa laylayan ng lipunan, right? Yung mga taong walang kuryente. Ang sinasabi natin kanina, ilang percent
The
yung...
electrification rate in Mindanao is actually the lowest in the country.
Which is how many percent?
Which is just 80
81
in general, but ASECU has more figures na granular in BARM.
In BARM, less than 50% ang electrification rate. You're right in pointing that out. That's why ang strategy sa Mindanao supposedly is both the grid and then the off-grid areas or the islands. Kasi hindi enough na we focus our attention lang doon addressing the brownout sa Davao. Kasi nung nagka-brownout kami sa Davao, sa Cagayan de Oro, in Jensan, Zamboanga, 10 years ago, nagtatawanan ang yung ating mga kapatid sa Basilan, Sulu, and Tawi-Tawi because all their lives brown out sila.
What's the commotion, di ba? Kami dito, nasa kadiliman kami. Pero yun ang point ko eh. We're talking about the big picture. Kailangan may kuryente kasi to power industrial. Yung nasa laylayan ng lipunan, lagi silang nasa kadiliman, di ba? I mean, meron ba tayong, Prof. Wally, anong take mo dyan? Paano ba natin sila, how can we increase the electrification of those that do not have electricity?
Fortunately, may solusyon yung area ngayon.
Okay.
Actually, I was involved in the development of the Rural Electrification Program that was submitted to the Office of the President in this administration. Ang focus ngayon ng NEA, which will actually prioritize Mindanao, and Mindanao will prioritize BARM, is to electrify using what we call utility-rated solar home system. Kasi marami doon sa lugar. At napatunayan ito doon sa Mindanao when I was asked to design the PB mainstreaming project ng European Union with the World Bank. So, nag-design ako doon ng prepaid solar home system na sineserbisyo ng mga electric cooperative. But sinasabi ko ito utility grade kasi hindi po pwede yung ordinaryong solar home system na after 6 months, wala na yung it has really, So, and the ERC has approved the tariff. So, yung 40,600 households sa Mindanao is currently enjoying 8 pesos per day kasi naka-prepaid sila at galing sa solar yung kanilang kuryente. Lahat ito nasa bundok. Napaka-reliable ng system. Ibig sabihin, halos walang brownout. Sa katunayan, doon sa Jensan, yung mga nasa city, nagre-request na sa Socoteco kung pwede ho ba silang ang kanilang electricity ay yung 8 pesos per day din.
Subsidized ba yun?
Subsidized yung solar home system ng government. So, yun yung nasa electrification. And based on this experience, nung nakita tayo na nagsucceed tayo, so that was used as a framework at basis para gumawa ng National Electrification Program. At ito ay nagkakahalaga ng 30 billion until 2028. Meaning, may programa nakakasa ngayon, it is in Malacanang, and the NEA is now currently implementing that, na by 2028, pati yung mga nasa bundok, yung mga nasa laylayan, electrified.
Again, this is for Prof. Wally, no? What emerging technology or techniques from other regions or countries can Vismin take cues from for energy security? So, also noting here, our audience is pretty curious about nuclear energy based on our social media call out last April. So, okay ba tayo mag-nuclear?
Okay. Pag tinignan mo yung statistics, kasi sabi na how safe is nuclear, yung unang no? Ang statistic ko, actually, ang sinasabi niya, maraming namatay sa mga coal-fired power plants compared doon sa namatay dahil sa mga nuclear power plants. Pareho lang din yan kasi ng aeroplano. It's not safe. Ang perception natin, hindi tayo safe doon sa aeroplano. Pero, yung engineering aspect niyan, I'm speaking now as an engineer, yung eroplano, halimbawa, kapag ginagawa eroplano, 4 ang engine niyan in parallel. Anong ibig sabihin? Kahit mawala yung 3 engine, nasira yung 3 engine, may isang engine kayang lumipad ng safely. Yung one. So that's the level of reliability of airplane. At same kind of discipline is actually what is being used in nuclear. That's why pag titingnan ng mga statistiko ay mas maraming nadidisgrasya.
But maybe for nuclear kasi whether it's large scale or SMRs, the first thing is really siting. Saan mo ilalagay, 'di ba? So, yun naman palagi yung I think
ano yung NIMBY na tinatawag nila? Not in my backyard, 'di ba?
Not in my backyard.
Ay, ganda niyan, but not here, not here. Siguro doon kila Wally, 'di ba? Parang gano'n.
Kasi nga may takot eh.
Fear.
Ako, sabi ko nga, pag nagtuturo ko ng power system reliability sa UP, lagi ko sinasabi sa mga estudyante ko, do you know that I am more afraid in driving in EDSA than riding a plane? Because of the how reliable technologies are designed. Depende doon sa... Kasi kung catastrophic ang impact ng failure, doon kailangan yung engineering dyan, kailangan matindi. So, kaya yung paggawa ng aeroplano at saka paggawa ng nuclear, dahil catastrophic ang nature, pag may failure yan, talagang mas
Exactly. So, siguro for now, pwede natin siyang sundan, yung development and technology, etc. But really, I think what's evident to all of us is that renewable energy, kung ano yung may solar ka, may wind, whatever, yun muna itap natin, di ba?
Yes,
Kasi
yes.
problema natin,
na.
nandito ngayon. And then, technology gets more sophisticated, yung pagginamitan pa natin ng mga Internet of Things, artificial intelligence, lalong magiging efficient. Okay, ito, another topic we crowdsourced from our audience is Siargao's 2-week blackout last December. Imagine, no? Nagbabakasyon ka sa Siargao, tapos blackout. So, anong innovation could have helped solve the problem? Maybe you have thoughts on solutions on the part of electric cooperatives. Ano bang si Prof. Wally?
Yeah, yun. Definitely, kasi yung Siargao, isang linya lang talaga yung pumunta galing sa anong probinsya itong...
Surigao.
No? Surigao del Norte, papunta doon sa Siargao. Isa lang talaga ang linya. No yan kapag ka nag-i-interconnect ka ng
Wala
island.
kang redundancy.
Oo, walang redundancy na tinatawag. So,
Tapos malaki pa yung Siargao, ang daming turista.
exactly.
Diba?
So,
Ano yung solution? Strengthen.
hindi, dalawa. Gawa ka ng...
Gawa ang dalawa.
Gawa ka pa na isa
So
pa.
will that solve the problem?
Well,
or
that's one.
That's just one, right?
Yes, of course. Oo. Kung may renewable energy sa loob,
In-island,
i-maximize yung renewable energy so that hindi ka fully dependent doon sa galing doon sa Surigao. Nandun ka lang sa So, yun, dalawang yung strategy na yun kailangan mangyari.
Actually, in-island generation, kailangan talaga yan ng Siargao. Rooftop solar, I think, is also a solution. Ang dami ng hotels or tourist accommodations in Siargao. Baka pwedeng mag-develop ng isang programa para matulungan din silang mag-embrace, di ba?
Incentivize them, no? To install rooftop solar. Ikaw,
And also, sa islands naman, ang tinutulak natin, hybridization of the diesel. Kasi bumagsak ng 10 beses na presyo yung ating solar PVs than how much it was 10 years ago. Kaya murang-mura na ang PVs ngayon. That's why it's viable for these areas to be not just 100% relying on diesel. Kasi integrate mo yung solar and battery now. We have a business case for this. The first ever solar hybrid in Mindanao is in Sibuto and Sitangkay. Kung titingnan mo sa mapa, ito yung lalanguyin mo na lang, Malaysia ka na actually. The farthest in Mindanao, southernmost tip of the Philippines, yet these two towns of Sibuto and Sitangkay in Tawi-Tawi account for 1/5 of the country's seaweeds production. And then we wanted to demonstrate with support from European Union under its Access to Sustainable Energy Program na pwedeng magtayo ng hybridized setup in the area, not just relying on the Napocor spag diesel. So natapos ito, idadaan na lang sa regulatory requirements pa, but this is a demonstration na pwede palang gawin even in the most difficult to reach places. And we also look at other technologies. Sa ngayon, may tinutulungan kaming isang private sector na French company called HDF or Hydrogen de France. We had partnered with DOE on this in terms of coming up with guidelines lang muna on hydrogen kasi wala pa tayo.
Wala pa tayong
Oo.
program.
Fortunately, with the support of the UP College of Engineering and our consultations with DOE about 2 years ago, nabuo at saka naipalabas, I think, December of 2023, yung initial guidelines ng hydrogen. Kasi other countries, like we're looking at the benchmark of Germany for hydrogen now. Itong French company set to establish it the first in Southeast Asia, in Mindanao, in Ulutanga Island, in Zamboanga, Sibugay.
Okay.
They're looking at building a 10 megawatt solar so that yung solar maging source of electricity to convert water and then i-separate mo lang yung H2O, hydrogen and oxygen, and you have hydrogen as fuel already. And so, nasa pre-development and studies pa sila ngayon of this, but the French government is aggressive in terms of supporting this because this is really a demonstration of innovation that can also be possible in the Philippines, and especially starting with Mindanao.
No, but you're talking about hydrogen. Ang tanong sa'yo dito is, how viable is wind power for Vismin?
Okay. All these years, wala kang makikitang wind sa Mindanao. Nandun sa concentrated Visayas and Luzon. Because Mindanao only has around 6 meters per second wind speed. You need 9 meters per second na wind speed for a windmill to be viable. But pwedeng tingnan ang viability of offshore wind.
Offshore wind.
Doon sa Siargao areas at saka sa Dinagat, we asked last year ADB to help us do a scoping study. And ginawa ng scoping study ng ADB ang viability of offshore wind
Pag
in
sinabi
Dinagat.
nating offshore, nasa dagat.
Nasa dagat.
Di ba? Mas malakas yung hangin.
Yes.
Oo. So, but I think because of technology getting more sophisticated,
Correct.
that could easily change, no? Na yung 6 meter per second would now be viable.
Meron ng technology sila ngayon na kahit 7, lower than 7,
Depende.
tatakbo na. Oo.
Yeah.
Just like how
ibang configuration ng
just like how PVs, photovoltaic cells ngayon na much concentrated, mas nakaka-harness ng energy at a much smaller dimension.
Tama. May dadagdag ka ba, Prof. Wally? Or...
siguro yung mga projects na mga new technologies na pinag-uusapan natin, no. Maraming pwedeng pag-aralan, no. At sa tingin ko ang strategy i-decentralize mo talaga.
Tama.
Strengthen the network not because you are delivering bulk power from big power plants. Strengthen the network because you want the network to hold small ones. And since small ones siya, yung network na i-develop mo, hindi massive. It's just enough para
Kaya niya.
hinahawakan nila.
Keep them
Kasi nga,
together.
ang function niya, hindi mag-deliver ng bulk power. So I think we needed to change the paradigm
Yes,
of
change the
planning.
That also supports our push for resiliency.
Yun.
Maraming areas sa Mindanao noon na tinamaan ng bagyo pero may isang lugar na nakatayo pa rin yung kanilang kuryente kasi meron silang sariling source
Tama.
after the storm.
So, ano ko lang as a developer, no? Meron kaming nilagyan ng isang isla. It's like a resort, parang 5-star resort, ganyan. Diesel-fired power plant yung nagpapatakbo sa kuryente nila. So, nagtayo kami ng 4 megawatt na solar farm. Tapos, nilagyan namin ng 5.5 megawatt hour ng battery. So, when we installed that, they were able to provide 60% of the entire power of the island. So, 40% na lang yung diesel nila. So, kung ganon yung mindset mo, pwede ka nang mag-solar and battery. Diba?
Yeah.
I mean, that's no longer a concept that is far from reality.
Yes.
That is today. And for us to look at other things is a distraction. Na parang, diba, nandito lang. Ito na, napaka-obvious.
Yeah.
I think, and that's all the time we have. I'd like to thank our panel for all of their insights and expertise, and to you, our viewers who tuned in. If you'd like to rewatch all 3 episodes or share them with your network, visit the story page linked below or in the Rappler Communities app to view the entire series. Again, I'm Ruthie Owen, and this has been Powering Up, Generating Energy Security in Visayas and Mindanao. Thank you for watching.